Hello everyone, welcome to another topic in the series of Azure ML Prompt Flow, and in this video I am going to speak about monitoring, how we can monitor our LLM based app, why do we need to monitor, and what are the different ways we can monitor our app using Azure Prompt Flow. So whenever we are developing any AI based app, it is very crucial to monitor our app, otherwise there are very high chances that our app will be outdated. Because whenever we are talking about AI based app, it means we can understand that there are a lot many things which are happening automatically and we do not have direct control over those things. So it could be like your data may have changed, or your consumer behavior may have changed, or there are a lot many things which can influence our Gen AI app, and it would ultimately put some adverse effect on our business. So that is the main reason why we should monitor our LLM based app. Okay, before we get started, if you're not sure about Azure Prompt Flow, I can quickly point you to my series. So in this series, I have already created 8 videos. So you can just start with the very first one, which is getting started, what all things you need to get started, then how you can set up your VS Code in order to play with Azure ML Prompt Flow. Then I spoke about how you can use Fires Index as well as AI search, Azure AI search to query your data. Then I spoke about how you can utilize multiple prompts in order to choose the correct response. So let's say you have lot many prompts, you want to try lot many prompts, but you're not sure which prompt will give what output. So you can just create all those variants in the Azure Prompt Flow, run it once, and you will see all those output in one shot. Then I also spoke about how you can deploy your app, how you can consume your app which you deployed using Azure ML Prompt Flow, because once the app is deployed, you can definitely use it outside Azure Prompt Flow as well, because it's just the REST endpoint which got generated. Then you can also have a look at my 7th video, which is on evaluation of LLM Flow. So evaluation is done based on the various matrices which we have discussed. And then I spoke about how you can integrate your LangChain code. So let's say you have already written some piece of LangChain code and you have tested it. Now you just want to pull in that code here and integrate with Azure Prompt Flow. These are all the things which I have already covered. So today I am going to take one step further and talk about monitoring part. So why do we need monitoring? So in a nutshell, we can say that monitoring helps us to track the performance of AI models which are already in production. So it helps us to understand how well the model is doing, both in terms of data science perspective as well as an operational standpoint. Another thing is data drift. So over time, the data distribution in production may change, and due to shifts in user behavior, external factors, or let's say you have lot many data sources which are involved in your application. So these all things needs monitoring. There are chances that one or the other thing got changed. Another thing is the quality assurance. So monitoring ensures that the model continues to produce high quality output, and it is very important and a very big reason why we need to go for this monitoring thing. Another thing is the safety. So we all know that when we are dealing with AI stuff, there are very high chances that you may get some surprises as an information or as an output. So that's the reason for generative model, safety is very crucial, and monitoring can help us to identify those harmful or inappropriate content which is generated by the model. Another thing is the business impact. Like I said earlier, if your model is outdated, then it could put negative impact on your business outcome. So monitoring ensures that the model remains effective. Now let's talk about few ways we can monitor it. So there are various ways we can monitor our AI models. So in order to enable the monitoring, there are certain capabilities and there are certain integration points which we need to take care. So looking into that, the first one, which is the data collection part. So in order to get started with the monitoring, the very first need is the data. So the only thing which we need to do is we just need to keep collecting our production data, whatever is generated by the model, whatever responses we are getting from the model, or what user is asking. So these all things can be collected using model data collector. So main purpose of model data collector is to collect the production data. Second thing is evaluation matrices. So I have already spoke about these matrices in one of my videos where we discuss how you can evaluate the prompt flow. So you can look at those evaluation matrices, which is like for groundedness, coherence, fluency, relevance, as well as for similarity matches. So these matrices are very well integrated with Azure Machine Learning Prompt Flow and can help us to evaluate our model. So matrices plays a very important role when we are working with the monitoring of our models. Another thing is alerts. So although monitoring is in place, but if we are not getting any alert or any kind of notification, then there is no point of monitoring. So it is mandatory to set up the proper alerts, configure the alerts based on the violations you are expecting or based on the targets or the threshold limits what you are looking forward for. So once these things are done, you are almost good to go. And the last thing is the dashboarding. So dashboarding is a way to visualize something, what is happening in the system. So again, do not take dashboarding as an optional. It is again a mandatory thing which will clearly tell you what or how things are going in the production. So having said that, let's get started and see how we can start a monitoring process. So I am on my AI Studio. I have already created a connection. I have already created a runtime, so it will save some time. And now I will go ahead and create a very standard flow, which is like, let's take a classification this time. So I'm not going to dig into the details of what are nodes or what this flow is doing. But at the high level, I can tell you that this flow, if you will look at the diagram over here, it is taking some input. It is fetching text from the URL, summarizing the text. It is taking some examples, like if this is the URL, this is the response. So it is taking some kind of examples, then it is going to LLM and telling you whether this output or the URL or the content is from which category, whether it is movie, app, academics, channel. So all these things we are expecting. So this is the prompt. If you will look at the prompt, you will get to know what we are trying to achieve in this particular sample application. So its task is to classify a given URL into one of these categories. So we will give a URL and system will read the text from that web page or the URL and it will tell you what this data is all about. So let me quickly configure this for us. So here I will leave it as it is. Let's do the bare minimum changes because here I do not want to spend time on configuring this app. Rather, we will focus more on the monitoring part. This is done, and here again I need to select my connection. Okay, so I will quickly look for some links. So let me grab this particular URL and we'll test this one over here. I will save this model. It's taking time to save. Let's give it a few seconds. Okay, I will run it. I just want to make sure that it is working. Perfect. So looks like we are done. Let me quickly go ahead and validate my response once. And here you can see the category is movie and evidence is both. Both means it is taking input from the URL as well as from the content which is on that web page. Okay, so I will go ahead and quickly deploy it because for monitoring to work, we want everything to be in the production. So let's go with these defaults name. Now this step is going to take some time. So I will pause my video here and we'll come back in some time. Well, so it is still deploying. By the time it finishes, let me quickly show you something. So click on this view matrices. And it will show you some matrices which you can track it. Okay, so this is the page where you can track it, and here if you will see, this is your metric namespace, and here are the possible matrices which you can track it. So you can see there is nothing related to number of tokens or all. So I will quickly show you how you can get those things over here. So these are the default ones which are appearing over here. So what we can do is, by the time it is deploying, maybe I can go back and show you how to start the monitoring. It is still going on. Okay, so what you can do is you can click on this monitoring, which is on the left hand side, and click on add. So here you need to select so there are like different kinds of signals which you can look for. So if you will look at the documentation, you will figure out like there are 10 to 12 different signals which you can include for the monitoring. So here I need to select the model. So this is the one which I just deployed. If you have deployed multiple, then it will list all of those for you, which is in the same namespace, workspace. Then you need to select deployment with data collected enable. So this is the one for me, and it will automatically generate for you as well. Then you need to select the model ask, so task type. So this is the one which is selected for me, prompt and the completion. It completely depends on how you have enabled your data collector, model data collector. So I will go with the one which is selected for me. The monitor name you can give, I will go with as it is. Then let's click on next. So this is the virtual machine size. Definitely you can go ahead and choose it whatever you want. And these are the sources for me. So this is the input and this is the output. So I have not enabled the model data collector. That's why it will pick, if I have not collected, then it will pick directly from my Azure Blob Store, because that is the place where everything is getting stored pertaining to this particular workspace. So it will pick automatically. If you have more data sets, you can definitely click on this button and get those added over here. But to keep this simple, I will just go with the one which is automatically picked up for me. Now here we need to set up all these things. So this is the most important place. And here you need to give some signal name, so that you can identify what you are tracking or monitoring. Then you need to select the connection string. So this is the same which we have created under the connections. Then here is the data set, and you need to check how many days you want to look back. So you can change it to the number you want. So I'm just keeping it 7. And then this is for my output. Okay, and these are the various matrices which you can track. So whatever you are selecting, based on that you will see that the parameters are changing at the bottom. See, so when I selected groundedness, it added context for me. So for all of these, they have different kinds of parameters which we can track. And here you can select what is your threshold. So if 70% is the passing rate, then you can mention that. If you want to reduce it, that you are looking for very high accuracy, then just change it to some high number. So now I am going with coherence and fluency, and will say prompt would be my URL, and it should come automatically. Let me quickly check it. And here completion would be it is not coming automatically because my model is still under deployment. Otherwise it would have appeared automatically. And then I would say there was one, let me quickly go through that. So I'm just checking what all parameters I can configure. So this is my prompt flow. I will get into this. And here I can see like the output is the category and the evidence. So I will take this category as my completion. Okay, once this is done, click on save, and you will see that the error is no more appearing over here. Click on next. And this is the place where you need to provide some email where you want to track it. So just provide the one where you want all the notifications. click on next and click on create. So as soon as you will click on create, it will start creating your monitoring thing for you, but again it's going to take close to 15 minutes. So I don't think we should wait that long, but let me quickly show you. So this is the endpoint which got deployed over here. These are the matrices. And another thing which you need to take care is, so whatever the endpoint which we have created, we need to grant permissions to that. So for granting the permission, what you can do is you can go back to your Azure portal, go to your this machine learning workspace, and here you can see this access control. Click on access control, go and add role assignments. So here you need to select this particular role, Azure Machine Learning Workspace Connection Treater. So this is the one which we are looking for. I will select this, click on next, and under managed identity, select member, and here you need to select your workspace. So I will select Azure Machine Learning, go here, and this one. Click on next, review plus assign. So until and unless you are doing this role assignment, things will not work as expected. So let's go back to this monitoring, and here you can see the signal got added on the bottom here, and these are the runs. So right now I haven't triggered any run, none of the, like no one triggered the job for that. So that's why it is not showing any data. But once you have that production data ready, you will see some matrices over here, and on the bottom you can see the status and what all things it has to show. So let's go back to, and this is a job history where you will see all the runs. Another thing I want to show you is models. So what you can do is you can go to models, and this is the one which we just deployed. So under models you have many things. So you will see your endpoint listed over here. You will see the jobs whatever were triggered. Then you will have your data here, and here comes the responsible AI. So this is a place where you can go ahead and create your dashboard. So it's a very great guided process. You can go through these articles and just get your dashboard created. So apart from this, what you can do is jobs. So if you will go to jobs, you will see under all schedules. So this is the one which we enabled for our monitoring purpose. So if you want, you can go ahead and update the settings here, like when do you want to get this triggered. And yeah, that's all I have. So whenever you want to test your monitoring, either you can trigger this thing manually using this link, trigger manually, or you can go ahead and just trigger some commands, or let's say you can just play with your model in order to get some data generated over here. So that's all I have for today. Another thing which I can probably talk is, yeah, I think these are the pretty much what I want to cover. So that's all I have for today, and I hope you got an idea about how you can monitor your jobs. It's just a matter of going to this particular thing. Here you can even edit the signal if you want. You can change these parameters, and even we can get new one added using this add signal here. So trigger manually, and it will give you everything whatever you want to. So if you want to see the graphs, you can again go back to endpoints, and here is the matrices. So this will tell you all the graphs which were generated out of our client requests. So let's give it a few seconds and it will load for us. So this is the place where you can see your graphs. You can even select the matrix which you want, and these matrices will get updated based on which like what all parameters you have selected. So that's all I have for today, and thanks for watching.